The Ghost in the Theater. In the small, historic town of Huntsville, Alabama, there's an old theater known as the Lyric. It was built in the 1920s, and over the years, it gained a reputation for something more than just its classic architecture and velvet seats. It was said to be haunted. Sam, a technician in his early 40s, worked there part-time, managing the lighting and sound. He never really believed the ghost stories, attributing them to local legends. Still, he couldn't deny the building's creepy aura. Late at night, when he was alone closing up, he would sometimes hear strange echoes from the empty seats or feel a chill that seemed out of place, even in winter. One cold November night, Sam was working late to prepare for a big performance. Everyone else had left hours ago, and he was alone in the theater, organizing equipment. It was around 2 a.m. when he heard the faint sound of clapping coming from the stage. His heart raced, but he brushed it off, convincing himself it was just an echo from outside. He decided to investigate, though, to be sure. He stepped onto the stage, calling out, "Hello? Anyone here?" Silence filled the theater, and his voice echoed back to him, but no one answered. He was about to head back when he saw something that made his blood run cold. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a figure sitting alone in the front row, a man, slightly hunched, dressed in an old-fashioned suit, staring straight at him. Sam froze, his mind racing to make sense of what he was seeing. He blinked, and the figure vanished, leaving the seat empty. He felt an intense chill run down his spine, but he tried to keep calm. "It's just my imagination," he whispered to himself. But then the air grew cold, and he heard faint footsteps behind him. He whipped around, but again, there was no one there. By now, every instinct told him to leave, but his curiosity got the better of him. He turned on his flashlight and began to search the rows of seats, determined to find an explanation. As he walked down the aisles, he heard a faint voice, deep and almost mournful. Why are you here?" it whispered, sending a shiver down his spine. Sam stopped, gripping his flashlight tightly. The voice seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Trying to stay rational, he called out, "I work here. I'm just doing my job." The voice went silent, but the chill in the air remained, lingering like a presence that didn't want to leave. Sam, his nerves fraying, quickly decided he'd had enough and headed for the exit. Just as he reached the doors, he felt something tugging at his jacket. He turned around, flashlight in hand, but there was nothing, only the empty theater, staring back at him in silence. His heart pounded as he scrambled to leave, locking the doors behind him without looking back. The next day, still rattled, Sam decided to ask the theater's manager about the figure he'd seen. The manager gave him a strange look. "You saw him, didn't you?" he asked, his voice filled with a mixture of fear and awe. Sam nodded, unsure of what to say. The manager explained that many people over the years had reported seeing the same figure, a man dressed in an old-fashioned suit, always sitting in the front row, watching the stage. They believed he was a former actor who had once performed there but had never left. From that night on, Sam kept his distance from the Lyric after dark. Though he never saw the ghost again, he could never shake the feeling that something was always watching, waiting for the final curtain call.